Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Feraphic, and this is World of Tanks. Today I'm driving the Tier 6 Russian premium tank destroyer, the SU-100Y, also known as Box Tank. And we are on Malinovka. Type 58 does some initial spotting across the field. Or at least I think it's the Type 58. I take a shot at the M6, but it goes right over the engine deck. Then I manage to pick off this ELC as it runs across the field. But in that exchange, we have lost 4 tanks for 1 ELC. And I do not have a very good feeling about how this game would go. But I see that the Leopard is going for a scouting run, and I felt I should take advantage of this opportunity before he dies, and maybe get off 1 or 2 more shots. This time I managed to hit an M6, take away a good chunk of his health. And we're down 5 tanks. Our presence in the north is pretty weak, and we have 2 KV-2s still down around the cap. So I decide that I should go and lend some fire support to the people on the hill up north. I figure a Stug and a Wolverine could probably hold the base, because they will also have artillery cover. And usually people don't like to cross the field. The SU-100Y is a pretty large tank. It's bigger than the Tier 8 American premium heavy tank, the T-34. But it is pretty mobile, actually. It can do some decent speeds, especially on flat ground. But it is tall, and the armor is not very good. So you shouldn't really rely on the armor. Because it probably won't save you when you need it to. So we've lost all our tanks up on the hill. And now decide to just sit in a bush and wait to try and ambush whatever comes down off the hill. Believe it or not, I actually managed to find a bush that was bigger than my tank. Now, I don't recommend you put a camouflage net on this tank. I would go for ventilation instead. It's just I never got around to it because I didn't want to spend the money. But there's that M6 that we hit at the beginning of the game, and he got taken out by the Stug. And then a Cromwell appears up on top of the hill. We dispatch him quite easily. And I don't have 6th sense on this crew, so I don't know when I'm spotted or not. So I decided to back off for a second to see if I was going to take any shots, but I didn't. And then this Type 58 appears, and I put a shot into him, and I believe so far every single one of the shots I have fired have been below average damage rolls. But at this point, I definitely know I'm spotted. and I'm trying to hit this guy as he comes down off the hill. But I miss, and now I have to back off and hope that the KV-2 can take out the Type 58, because I need to focus on the KV-1S in front of me. KV-2 does dispatch the Type 58, but I am taking some damage here, and I thought that this was the end. But I finish off the Sherman. Then the KV-1S is about to fire, I angle, and I somehow manage to bounce him. And that sealed his fate, because that gave me a chance to reload my gun and finish him off. The enemy now have 6 tanks left. We have 4. KV-2 asks for some cover as he goes up the hill. And I was actually going to go up with him, but then the base actually falls under attack. The enemy Wolverine comes in and knocks out our Wolverine. Actually, no, sorry, the S-35CA knocks out our Wolverine. I actually didn't notice this at the time, so I thought it was just the Wolverine there, but then spot the Panzer IV and one-shot him as he goes straight for our artillery, which was a very important shot to make because every tank counts in this kind of situation. Because we're 3 tanks versus 5. And now they're capping. Or at least the Wolverine is. But he is behind the cover of the house, so we can't see him from our rather advantageous spot on this hill. And I decide to try and take out part of the building, hoping that the artillery would also try and level the building, so that maybe the KV-2 can get a shot on the Wolverine. I go for a shot on the Wolverine and miss, unfortunately. But I redeem myself and take him out. One of the nice things about the SU-100Y is that it can pretty much one-shot any tank below its tier. Well, at least mediums and tank destroyers and so on. And now there's an AT-7 and the AT-8, not AT-7. The S-35 is now the only one left capping. And he takes our KV-2. Now the SU-100Y doesn't have the best gun depression, so I had to find a place where I could get a shot on him. And now I'm sure the enemy artillery is going to be firing at me. So I just do some wiggles until I was sure I wasn't spotted anymore. And now I think it's time to go on the offensive. And my original plan was to go around the south side of the field. But the more I thought about it and the further I got, the less I like that idea, because there's pretty much no cover going that way. So I didn't want to be exposed out in the middle of a field with a Hetzer and an enemy artillery still active. So I decide to go through the swamp area. I would have rather gone around on the high ground, but there was only 4 minutes and 20-ish seconds left in the game, so I thought that I needed to kind of make this quick. I didn't want to draw the game. I really wanted to win here and pick up the Radley-Walters. Because right now I am on 7 kills. And 2,500 damage. So I'm going through the swamp, and I was originally going to try and poke through that bush, try and use my binoculars to spot, but I decide against it. And I wanted to just roll up and hopefully avoid being spotted. Artillery is still back at the cap, so if anything starts to cap, I have a chance of resetting it in case I can't get back for some reason. But I managed to get all the way across the swamp area without being shot at. And then they start to cap. So, now I decide it's best to go back and try and deal with the threat. I can see the artillery is moving in, so I tell him to wait. There's no real use just charging in there and getting himself killed when he's still a valuable tank. And we can come at the enemy from 2 sides if I don't manage to one-shot him first. So I decide to use the bushes next to the rock to conceal my approach. And now I tell the artillery to attack. But no need, because the Hetzer appears right in front of me and dies in 1 shot. And artillery was waiting for me there. He wanted me badly. But now it is only artillery, and chances are he probably won't be able to kill both of us, and time is running out. So I have the M41 come with me, because if we can't find him right away, basically we need to try and cap out. Because there's only a minute left now. But we spot him. And I'm not sure, but I think he was going to try and drown himself. Take a shot at him and miss. Then I move forward, because I'm really thinking that he's going to drown himself at this point. And then ammo rack him for 9 kills. And just over 3,000 damage. Which also got me my Mastery Badge, Radley-Walters, Top Gun, and Defender Medal. As well as a just over 4,000 experience double, which was nice. And I also completed the 5-win mission where you get 25,000 credits. So that's why my credits earned is that high. As you can see, my damage output was far higher than anybody else on my team. But I did kind of use the rest of my team as sacrifices to the enemy to get that number. But, you know, I thought I had a chance to carry the game. I made some mistakes, but I think I made up for them. And we won. And as you can see, what I actually made from that game would have been 77,727 credits, which is still fairly high, and I fired quite a few premium shells to guarantee the one-shot kill against the few remaining enemy tanks. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe I'll catch you next time.